Hey, Mr. Wonderful here, and I am in a magic zone. This is TAG. Now, this brand is legendary as a sports brand, obviously through racing, the association with racing, but it's so much more now. And of late, for those of you that collect, expanded all kinds of new dials. Now, everybody knows I'm a dial guy, so I'm here with Nick and Carol. We're going to talk about some of the new offerings. We're here at Watches Wonder in Geneva. The show's on fire. You know, it's incredible. You can't even move out there. That's why we're in this little room. Okay, so Nicholas, let's start. Tell us, what do you do with TAG Heuer?
It's a very good question, actually. I mean, my
you don't know either, right?
A little bit sometimes. I do have to ask myself. I'm the heritage director for the brand. So
what does that mean?
So my first responsibility is really to protect the history and the DNA of the company and look after the archives, the museum. But beyond that, it's managing the storytelling, making sure we're fully authentic to our past and really going in a clear direction going forward. Working with the collectors, but more importantly is working with amazing people like Carol for conception of new odorology product, this amazing Monaco. It's really been, because I think you'll know as well, in the past, we've had a few different directions for the brand. We've been very high-end, we've been very entry-level.
It's true.
We've been a bit heritage, we've been a bit contemporary. We have these amazing codes that we can draw upon. What we're trying to do today is find the balance between reflecting on the past with being very avant-garde. We've got it in our name, we want to do it for the future as well.
And what I love about what you're doing is you're supporting people that are coming into horology, they're just starting to build their collections with affordability but fantastic style. Now I have to ask you, this brand has a unique heritage back to Steve McQueen, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's an iconic image I have in my brain of him in a racing movie.
Exactly.
Wearing this brand.
Exactly.
And that to me is the DNA of what this whole thing is about.
Sure.
Is it not?
Yeah. I mean, you know, we're in our 164th year now. We're in the 55th year of Monaco. We're in the 61st year of Carrera. We've just got an amazing lineage, you know, for decades and decades now. And you talk about motor racing, you know, it's a great love of mine as well. It's kind of why the brand was a natural fit. And this moment for McQueen, 1970, he's being trained to drive the Porsche 917 by Joseph and Derek Bell. And the costume department say, okay, what are you going to wear for the movie? And he says, dress me like a professional. And both of these guys are wearing Heuers. He wants to wear a Heuer as well. He ends up with a Monaco on the wrist. And of course, you end up with this iconic salute photo with him wearing the watch. And it's become
That's the image in my head.
Exactly.
And when I think this brand, I think of that image, as so many people do. Because it's become an iconic brand. You know, Americana, racing, everything. There's no other brand that somehow crystallizes the square the same way you guys do.
Exactly.
There's other attempts, but it's just not.
Yeah, and from the beginning, I'm wearing one of the original pieces from 1969 on my wrist today.
That is an original?
Yeah, this is an original from the very first year of production. Yeah. Exactly, both of these are vintage actually. And this piece here, I always say when it arrived in the boutique, it must have been like an alien spaceship that arrived at your local watch retailer. I mean, it looked like nothing else. You know, imagine we're 3 years before the Nautilus, 3 years before the Royal Oak, 7 years before the Nautilus. You know, these get people accustomed to.
So that's late 60s, early 70s.
69. So
69.
yeah, 3rd of
73
March.
was the Genta that came out.
72 was Royal Oak.
You're right.
76 was the Nautilus.
Yes.
But, you know, these really laid down codes for watchmakers for a new kind of architectural design object. I always say it's like brutalist architecture on your wrist. You know, these sharp edges, this finishing, the bracelet that looks kind of integrated, and a bright blue dial. At the time, the industry was so conservative, it was black or white or silver.
So you carried this heritage, this iconic look through generation after generation.
Exactly. And
so you're protecting that brand value back to that original imagery. This is obviously a very modern caliber compared to what that was in 69.
Exactly. So completely new imagining. I think this is a good chance for Carol to talk about this amazing movement that we've conceived.
So tell us what you do, Carol, specifically.
Mr. Wonderful here. No one needs a watch, but everybody wants one. Why? Because it marks a moment of time in your life. Many watches appreciate in value over time. That's why I created WonderCare. Want to learn more about insuring your watch? Go to WonderCare.com.
I'm in charge of movement strategy for the maison. and also to develop haute horlogerie watches.
So you work, when you manufacture these watches, you're in collaboration. Obviously, very few people make the spring, for example. You know where to get that, how to put it into this piece, keep the level of quality the same, consistency. That's what you do. And then the design also?
Technical design, yes, of course. It's really teamwork, and we have inside our team to develop this watch an aesthetical designer, which Julien, who work on redesign the Monaco case around sportive ergonomy. We wanted something really think around sport and ergonomy. This is why we work with very light material. For example, the case is made of titanium. The movement is also full titanium. The blades, the bridges are made of titanium, but also the deployment.
This is all titanium based.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And in fact, even it's a complication chronograph with a split-second mechanisms. We have more than 65 components inside, but only 30 grams for the movement.
That's beautiful. But you're right.
Yeah.
Remarkable. Very light.
And by weight, the case is half sapphire, half titanium. And the cool thing about sapphire is it has roughly the same density of titanium. So it creates a very balanced feeling on the wrist.
This case is a bubble in the back.
Exactly. So this is a code taken from the original. So Carol has the crystal here. But if you look at the original, it has this domed back. And the reason is it means you have a very small contact patch with your wrist. And it can sit nicely between the bones on your wrist as well. So even...
Back is a block of sapphire.
Yeah. And then we machine the interior so we can push the rotor inside, and you get this amazing angle to it as well.
I hadn't noticed it till I picked it up.
Yeah.
That's quite unique.
Yeah. It's 4 months to produce the sapphire on its own.
And what is the retail price of this?
So this is 135,000 Swiss francs in the standard form. We have two colorways. We have a blue and a red, but we're also offering at 165,000 Swiss francs a customized version. So you can choose the case material, you can choose colors for the hands and the markers. You can customize the hand painting to the rotor, of course, the
So
strap
this is a very high-end piece.
Absolutely. And, you know,
I might say well received.
Absolutely, yeah. And we're aiming for 40 pieces per year. That's the hope that we can produce those. It's limited production rather than limited edition. But the big thing here is, you know, Carol and I are extremely proud of the watch. The watch is fantastic, of course. But really what we're doing here is laying down a new philosophy and a new direction for the future of TAG Heuer. First with high-end watchmaking, but of course these will codes that will come down into other collections and other price points as well.
But if someone wants to come into the brand at a lower price point to start and keep that heritage, that sport look, what do you have for them?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, traditionally we've been the kind of entry level into the Swiss watchmaking industry. You know, most people take their first steps with a Formula One or an Aqua Racer. Of course, now we have a great new Carrera glass box design with our own in-house TH20 caliber that's very, very well priced. I think it's around $6,000 in your market.
So that you can start in the brand at a very affordable entry level.
Absolutely. I mean, the Formula One, we start at $1,500
Yeah.
And today, the great thing about our brand is we've been able to create this stretch from $1,500 to $150,000.
Well, this is a really big achievement, actually.
Thank you.
And it is getting well received because it's very fashionable right now. Stays with the heritage, but it has some incredible technology in it.
Yes, yeah. So here you can see the Carrera that I was mentioning last year. We did a big uplift for the 60th anniversary with this sapphire glass box design, as we call it. We pushed the crystal all the way to the edge of the case.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is it brings the Rio and the bezel up onto the interior. It improves the legibility because you can see it from all these different angles. And of course, we worked on the ergonomics of the case as well. And Carol did some great work elevating our existing in-house caliber. It was known as the Heuer 02.
Price point on this?
It's around $6,000 if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Very affordable. Very nice.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, and now on the bracelet as well. Of course, you can put it on a strap. Nice red strap maybe, Kevin.
Yes, absolutely.
Bit of red accent on the dial as well, so you can color match it. And
gorgeous.
We have these amazing manufacturing expertise. We don't always talk about it so much, but we have our own case maker, our own dial maker. Of course, the TH20 in-house movement is made in our own facility. So yeah, amazing foundation for what we can build for the future as well.
All right, you got it all. Another great day shopping in Geneva. Thanks, guys.
Before we end today, I have to tell you about a new project I've got. One of the biggest challenges I have is how do I insure these watches? These are traveling with me a dozen here and 2 here. Every one of these are insured while they're on the road. I created WonderCare.com to solve for my collection as it travels all around the world. WonderCare.com, check it out.